Good afternoon, Lisa Marie, and welcome to Dolphin Global Network video. My name is Maria Kompanowski. I am the founder and chief executive of Dolphin Global Network. And today I have an amazing lady who is very passionate entrepreneur and a lady that is doing a huge amount of work for the future of our children, the future of our grandchildren. Lisa Marie, exquisite learners, tell us, please, how you became a teacher and what has prompted you to teach the children age, is it 4 to 8? Is that correct?
3 to 8.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for that lovely introduction, and thanks for having me here today. It's so lovely to be here. Well, I always sort of wanted to be a teacher, even when I was quite young, and I got the chance, even in work experience at school, to go in and have a go in classes, and it never really left me. So I knew when I went to do my degree that I wanted to do a teaching degree, and at that time it was a 4-year Bachelor of Education. So it was wonderful because I was immersed in teaching from the get-go. You get your first teaching practice early on, and the whole way through you're just learning all about the experience of working with children. So I loved my degree. I finally found something that I was that I fit with. It was the subject that I really enjoyed, and I loved doing it. And so I then went on to teach. I wanted to work abroad. I was very keen to travel. Um, and I found myself working in London for a number of years to get that experience in order to work abroad. And I got to the age of 30 and I'm like, I haven't gone abroad yet. I need to get moving. So I took my teaching abroad, and I worked in the USA for a number of years. I worked in Dubai, and I also worked in China. So I spent the best part of the next decade working abroad, and then came back to settle in London, where I started my family. And we all know how challenging it is to have a full-time job and a family. So I was that working mum, and but I still loved it. I've always loved my job. Um, and then I made the decision to suddenly take a change. I always thought I was going to be a teacher. It never occurred to me that I wouldn't do that until I retired. But my health started to take a turn. It had been declining somewhat since the birth of my son, because I was an older mum. And I found that I was left with some disabilities that were preventing me from doing the job that I'd loved for so long. And made the decision that it was best, after I took some time away for illness, to not return to the classroom and to rethink. And I wanted to still do teaching. That was never really a question, but it was a question of how I was going to pivot. And I changed my way into having this business. I thought about starting Exquisite Learners with the intention of being able to help with some tutoring of young children, because I'm an early years specialist and my passion has always been in nursery reception, year 1, year 2. So that was where I really wanted to focus. And I was going along with this idea, and then we had lockdown. And when we had lockdown, I was working with my son, obviously on home learning, and I found that even for me, with all my experience, it was a little bit challenging at times, and there were things I had to learn and things I had to change. But I had all of those tricks in my bag from all the years and all the experience, so I just was able to use those. And I thought to myself, wow, there must be so many people out there that are finding this really tricky, because they don't have the background I have in education. They don't have those tips and tricks and all the knowledge that I have. And I thought, well, maybe I could make that difference in branching out from the tutoring and being the person that can work with the parents so that they can be the very best educators for their children instead of reaching out to someone else to help them to do the teaching for them. So I got very excited about this, and this really pulled me up. It made me feel a lot better. It made me, my health was improving, just from having this new focus and direction. And that's really how it all happened. So it's been brilliant.
Fantastic. So, what are your objectives, Lisa? What is your objective of working with the 3 to 8 year olds children and their parents?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking that, Maria. It's mostly the parents. So my direction is to um, work with the parents on their confidence and any tools and resources that they're going to need to become the very best educators for their children so that they can teach them at home. There's a lot of parents that have really enjoyed working with their children during lockdown, but perhaps didn't have the experience and things behind them that I can help them to help provide that missing thing. It was interesting because I spoke to someone the other day and she said, "Oh, I wish I'd had you in my back pocket when I was starting in the lockdown." And I thought, well, great, this is kind of the direction that I wanted, but not just for lockdown, for the fact that there's parents out there that want to do homeschooling, that want to unregister their children
Yes.
from school, and also just so many that would like to really usefully use their time with their children, because our time is limited, especially for working parents, as I was myself. I know the challenges of fitting in that time with your children, and that there's ways and means that can be done in such a fun and engaging way where you can make new connections and bonds with your children that you never thought imaginable and be part of their learning experience. At the end of the day, you were their first educators if you're their parents. So
Yes.
why not carry that on and be the best educator for them at home?
Yeah. Do you think that um, the homeschooling is far more advantageous to the younger group of children?
I think that it's good for any of the primary age up to the age
Hmm.
of 12. I think it's good, but certainly with the young ones, you've got the massive transition that happens from leaving your parents for the first time to go into a preschool or a nursery. So you've got all of those little things to deal with the separation and going away, and that's great that they go into those situations because they still can have that social element, and they
Hmm.
still have time away from their parent but time back with their parents. So it's really important that the parents and whoever cares for the children outside of the school time is heavily involved in that learning, because they are little sponges up to the age of 7, and so much of their growth is happening in that period of learning, that by 7 so much of the brain is developed and their ideas and their thoughts and their feelings. So to be promoting a great growth mindset and a love of learning, a love of reading, and all things that learning is fun, basically, for in those younger years is so essential. So yes, I would say that getting involved with your children could not be more important than under the age of 7.
Wonderful. And you have created a blog and the Facebook groups, especially, plus obviously YouTube channel, especially to help out and introduce the parents to that sort of work, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's been wonderful because I've met so many great people. I opened a Facebook group at the beginning of this year, in January, and it's steadily growing, where I'm able to give advice and talk to parents, and they can talk with each other and share ideas, tips, and things that have worked. And it's a very lovely safe space for everyone to sort of talk about things. And my blog as well, I love writing, and that's another passion of mine. And so having a chance to share my voice through my blog about ideas and tips that I can share with people has made me feel that I can get my message out there. And what I like about being able to work um, with in my business now rather than in a classroom is that I can now take all of those wonderful things that I've learned through the 20 plus years I've been teaching from different countries, different curriculums, private schools, public schools, ways of doing things to find the best suited way for individual children and parents, rather than sticking to a curriculum that's been made for everyone, you know.
That's absolutely awesome. And I feel that your experience and your wisdom in this matter is key for any parents to who cares for bringing up their children to become successful people. But children and writing a blog is not just the only passion you are having, Lisa. So tell us a little bit more about your other passions, please.
Okay, well, this was a passion that that I had along with teaching and writing. In fact, the only other job I ever considered other than teaching was a journalist. And so what I ended up doing was doing my degree, which it was a B.Ed in art and primary education. So I have my two passions together. I love art. I love painting. I love making anything creative. I've tried everything from knitting, crochet, printing. I've done the lot, working with clay, but I love painting. And so now I paint a lot now that I'm not working in the classroom, because it was so hard to find the time when I was a full-time working teacher like that. And I like to share that with children. So I've combined my two loves of teaching and art, and I've brought out a couple of series now on YouTube, which it's called Draw With Me, Lisa Marie, where I do simple step-by-step drawings using simple lines, shapes, and curves for children and adults to copy and learn to draw anything from some objects to animals. We've just done the last series as farm animals, and my 5-year-old son joined me for that series, and he copied the pictures in the video as I was doing them, so the people watching the video can copy at the same time as him. And he loved it, and it was such a lovely experience for us all. And I hope that everyone who watches that video can have that joint experience with their children as well, like we did when making the video.
That is amazing.
Goodness.
That is amazing, Lisa. Thank you so much. Now, we have met um, through our mutual friend who invited you to a Dolphin Global Network networking event on Saturday. Can you tell me, please, what impact uh, has this been on your career and on your business, and as well as your personal growth?
Yeah. Wow. How much time have you got? It's been monumental. I can't even put into words the difference that it has made. Joining that Saturday group that you facilitate so beautifully has opened up so many things to me. It's opened up doors, it's opened up windows, it's opened my eyes in so many ways. I've learned from so many people. I've joined other networking groups through meeting people in the group. I've made friendships that are just I never even saw coming, and collaborations which would have been in my wildest dreams. And the excitement of what being in that networking and meeting so many people like-minded, and have just pushed everything forward so much quicker for me, and helped me to learn so much more about myself. My personal development is off the scale, I feel, since I've been interacting and learning from other people. And I understand myself so much more in the direction that I want everything to go. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm just so grateful for that opportunity, and thank.
Wonderful. Fantastic. So just to conclude, Lisa, What message would you like to convey to the parents out there, to the people who are having families and watching this video?
I'd like to say to the parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles, and any carers of children under the age of 8 to get involved heavily in their child's learning, because they are have the potential to be the absolute very best educators. They are already a great educator for their child. They know them so well. They can make bonds that are just beautiful, and follow that journey with them as if you're living it, as if you're a fly on the wall in the classroom. You are part of it. If they're in classroom, or if they're being homeschooled, then you are just living it with them, and learning with them is the key, Maria. That's the message I would like to get out.
Uh,
Learning with your children, not really teaching them. It's learning together, and that's the
yes,
beauty of it. And learning to love learning is my key message. That's what it's
I
about.
think it's a brilliant message. Thank you so much for that, Lisa. I am very grateful for having you here and talking to you and helping to get that message across to as many people as possible. You will be able to find Lisa's links to her Facebook group, to her blog, and to her YouTube channel below this video. So please click subscribe, click the bell so you are notified, and you will be able to also watch some of Lisa's videos on our channel. But please go and visit Lisa's channel, because what you will see there is absolutely fabulous. Lisa, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for
Having me.
agreeing to do this video.
It's been wonderful. I really
So
appreciate this today, and I appreciate you, Maria. So thank you very much.
thank you. You're welcome.